Are you crazy? Or are you just mad?
Hello. Welcome to the Mad Musicians Against Depression podcast, where we discuss the latest news, research and hot topics surrounding mental health. I'm Thomas Maher, and I'm joined in studio by my beautiful co-host, award-winning singer, songwriter and presenter, Indiraa. Indiraa. Welcome to the Mad Podcast, episode 36, season 2.
Oh, 36, that's as old as me.
66, yeah, you were 50 years ago.
You're so mean.
I am, I love it.
Well, I look 36, so there.
Yeah, you do, that's true, I know. So welcome, folks, to another episode of the Mad Podcast. We actually have a very special show today because Indiraa has invited two of her friends onto the show, and they're going to talk about some things today which I'm not too privy about, but Indiraa is going to tell us all about that. Indiraa, take it away.
Okay, so as you all know, I had a very close relationship with alcohol, and I went into rehab at the Priory, and there I met some of my bestest friends. My peer group consisted of a group of 4 of us, and I can honestly say it changed my life because I realized the value of friendship outside my little bubble. And today I have with me Billy Bonkers and Amazing Grace. And as you all know, I'm Mama Indiraa. And as for Tommy, we won't go there because he's a bit dumb, so it's okay. And he's actually disappeared. So here we are. I'm going to read an article very quickly so then we can give a little more time to what we have to say. Now, new strategies for treatment resistance. Now, as you all know, there is such a thing as depression. And if you don't know, you're learning from the best. Moi. So how do we improve on this depression, as in not make it worse, but make it better? There's 2 standard interventions: brain stimulation, electroconvulsive therapy. If you can learn to say this, then you lose all your depression. If you can't say it, you'll be even more depressed. The oldest treatments for severe depression involves controlled seizures under anesthesia. Get the amount right, okay? For significant improvements in many patients. Transcranial magnetic stimulation, which we all know nothing about. A non-invasive procedure that uses magnetic pulses, this Tom uses, by the way, to stimulate specific brain areas involved in mood regulation. A newer form of theta burst stimulation delivers pulses, frequencies mimicking the brain's natural rhythms. And of course, pharmacological treatments. Now, there's ketamine, traditionally an anesthetic. Ketamine has shown rapid antidepressant effects by targeting the glutamate. Glutamate? Okay, sorry about that. Mate.
It's your mate.
Yeah, you've got a glute on your mate. Anyway, a neurotransmitter not significantly affected by standard antidepressants. So this hits the area that my antidepressant obviously didn't work in. So minocycline. Tom, am I going well today? Commonly used as an antibiotic.
Well. Yes, I'm very proud. I'm sitting here in the background. I'm listening in. Go ahead.
Okay, so commonly known as an antibiotic for acne. Okay, we're going off topic here. Minocycline, whatever, possesses neuroprotective properties that may alleviate depressive symptoms and reducing oxidative stress in the brain. My God, this is giving me depression. Seriously, these treatments often...
Try the acne tablet.
Yeah. I've got such a lovely skin. I've been told, I glow.
Oh, you're already on the tablet.
Especially in the dark. Individuals struggling with TRD. Turd? No, sorry, that wasn't turd. Especially when traditional antidepressant medications have proven ineffective. Basically, I think you should read all this because it's really hard to read it out.
That's summarised.
So when it's winterized, it's even worse.
Yes, exactly. You got summarised, exactly. Yes, I did disappear there momentarily because I left my phone in the control room.
Oh no!
And I needed to read my article, so I had to disappear very quickly.
And you reappeared.
And you frowned upon that.
I did not frown upon it.
You did frown upon it. Yeah, I felt very guilty just for those moments. I'm back. And I didn't pull you up because you never even headlined your topic. But anyway, no matter.
Oh my God, I need to headline my topic, guys.
That's too late now.
I said it. New strategies for treatment resistance.
Yeah,
I said
now
it.
you said it. Thank you.
No,
Okay,
I
now.
said it
No,
earlier.
I forgive
Did I
you.
not say it?
I forgive you.
Okay.
Don't worry.
My friends agree with me, so there.
Okay, so, all right. Okay, let's go on now. So we have our second hot topic of mental health research, which I'm going to read out to you, which of course I've summarised, which is a very interesting one actually, guys, because it's actually...
He always says that.
It's something the NHS are doing, and we know the NHS do fuck all, so they're doing this. So the title of this one is called Brain Implant That Could Boost Mood by Using Ultrasound Goes into Trial. Right, what is that about? Here we go. A new brain implant designed to enhance mood through ultrasound stimulation is set to undergo trials within the UK's National Health Service, which is NHS abbreviated. That NHS abbreviated word we all love to hate. This innovative device aims to offer a novel treatment approach for individuals suffering from mood disorders, potentially providing an alternative to traditional therapies. The upcoming NHS trial will assess the implant's safety and effectiveness, making a significant step forward in mental health options. Short and sweet, but that's an interesting one, isn't it? Ultrasound to zap the neurons in our brain.
Is that like a boob implant? Is that like a boob implant?
Well, it could be a house plant, I don't know. But no, not like a boob implant. You certainly wouldn't be getting that in the NHS, would you?
Oh,
Not
yes, you
days.
can. If you tell people, I know somebody who
She's off. She's on
complained. No, listen, that they had they lost confidence and got suicidal, and they had depression because their boobs were small, and NHS gave them new boobs on the NHS.
Did it help the depression?
Well, they've got double D depression.
Oh, good one.
No, I made that up, but it's okay.
You liar.
I did.
You're telling lies on the Mad Pad podcast.
Yeah, of course.
Jesus Christ.
It's not called Mad for nothing.
Yeah, the lying, the bullshitting Mad Pod podcast. Okay, so folks, that was nice and short too, because we wanted to keep it short and sweet, because we have two wonderful guests, like I said, in studio. So I will pass you over to Indiraa, who will introduce them.
So I have here with me Billy. Billy, do you want to say hi to everyone? If you don't understand her, she's from New Zealand, so don't worry.
Hi, everybody out there.
As you can see, she sounds really comfortable.
Indiraa said to me before the show, your surname is Goat. Is that true?
No, it's not true.
Okay.
But
You
I'm
liar,
the greatest of all
Indiraa,
time.
I never said that. And there's Grace. Now, don't tell me that her name is something else now. This is Amazing Grace, is my other friend here. Now, Billy, do you want to say hi, Grace?
Sorry, hi everyone. You didn't let me say hi.
Yeah, she also said that. Don't worry. Exactly. I know.
Cut me off.
Oh my God. Okay. So we were all together at the Priory, and Billy's going to tell you what brought her into the Priory.
Probably a cab, was it?
What?
Probably a cab.
I know, my husband. I don't remember much of the journey, but it was my husband. Took me in.
Does he remember much of the journey?
No, I think he was terrified.
Oh, okay.
Oh, actually, probably just pleased to get rid of me. Passed me off. So you want me to tell what? Yeah.
Whatever you want to talk about.
When I met you guys, I'd already been to the Priory once before, twice, and I was in for a 14-day relapse. So I'd relapsed quite badly, and I just couldn't pull myself out of the hole of the shakes and the, having to have alcohol, and it was making me vomit. So I have private health insurance, and there I was back in there, which I didn't really want to go back, but I knew that I needed help. And I was very, very lucky to meet you two lovely ladies. And we helped each other a lot, and we formed a very close bond, which we are maintaining, which is helping a lot with the recovery.
Yeah, which is why we're here today, because after this we're going to
aftercare. Yeah, we're all going on a little girly road trip in my dirty, smelly car to aftercare. And
Grace's journey went slightly differently. Do you want to talk about your journey? You can say whatever you want, Grace.
Yeah, so I'm a bit younger than these two lovely ladies next to me. I actually was in the Priory for ketamine use, and I don't know if I can shout it out, but a fellow of us, Kate, as well, she was in there as well, and we're kind of a bit younger, and I think the use of ketamine now in younger people is like spiraling crazily, and I used it to cope with things, anxiety and things like that, and I just got to the point where I needed some serious help to try and sort it out, and I met these two lovely ladies in there, and I was so scared going in, but when I did meet them in there, I just felt so comfortable and relaxed in there, and it made my journey and my time in there a lot more relaxed, rather than thinking, oh my God, before I went in, I'm going to be locked away somewhere. Like, I'm not going to be able to talk to anyone. And, meeting these people in there was amazing. And, I'm 89 days sober today. And,
good for you.
It's the best thing I ever did. So, yeah.
In terms of, do you want to give them, Billy, a little rundown on a day's schedule for us?
I think for us, what we learnt and what I still do is, for me, my mornings are very important. So I start the day with a cigarette and a prayer to my higher power. I sit outside with my wild birds, feed them, and I write my gratuity list, and I do it without fail every morning. So I just... might sound weird to people out there praying, but it's not really even praying. I'm like talking to the universe up in the sky, and I can see the sky, and it's bigger than me. And I say the Serenity Prayer, and I basically hand my day over, because I can only work in 24-hour sections and take every day as it comes. And by handing my day over, I am sort of surrendering my day to a sober day. And I write down what I'm grateful for. And that could be anything from, well, tomorrow it will be seeing you guys, to clean sheets or a warm house or anything that my children, whatever, anything and everything that I am grateful for. To wake up sober. And so for me, that sets up my day. I'm still working on what I'm supposed to do at the end of the day, which you're supposed to sort of assess it, but I'm usually too knackered and I go to sleep. But for me, a bit of meditation, a bit of prayer, taking a little bit of time to focus on how my day's going to go. And then
it's
what will be, will
well.
be. It is, yeah.
Nothing is perfect. Everything has its ups and downs, a little bump here and there. But Kate... Grace's journey took another turn. It was completely different because when she came out, do you want to tell everyone what your world looked like when you came out?
Yeah, so I've been very, very lucky and been given such an amazing opportunity. So when I was in the Priory, I remember doing a session, I think it was psychodrama, and our therapist, he asked us to say what our hazy thought was in our head at that current time. And I said, like, going out of the Priory, and I said, work. I don't know what I'm going to do for work. I don't know what I'm going to do. And actually, Indiraa and Raj have really kindly given me an opportunity, and I now work for Hunter in the marketing team, and I've been there, I think it's my 3rd week now, and it's honestly just opened new doors to me, and I couldn't have imagined to be in the position, like, if you asked me a couple of months ago where I am now, I never would have thought I would have been there, and I'm just so eternally grateful for, being where I am.
Well, you almost joined Gucci.
Oh yeah, well, there's a funny story to that one, but I don't want to waste our time talking about that. But yeah, I always think, like, going into the Priory, like, everything happens for a reason, and if I hadn't have gone into the Priory, I wouldn't be in the job I am now. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise, I think. But yeah, no, I'm loving it, and it's really, helped me with my mental health, my anxiety, having that, getting back into that routine and waking up, going to work, being around people, and things like that. So yeah, no, I'm just so grateful for the opportunity that I've been given. And I'm loving it.
And it is great to see both of you the way you are. As I said, nothing in life is perfect, and we have to count each day one at a time. Can't take anything for granted. And during Christmas and New Year is really difficult. If you can get through that, you know. And we've all had our ups and downs. I've had losses. I lost another animal last Saturday, and my Madonna, my little beagle, and it's hard. We all have one thing in common, though. It's horses, would you believe it? And Billy works with horses in a very interesting line. Billy, do you want to tell them about that?
Yeah, I work full time. I'm a nurse, but I also am involved in polo, which is nothing like the documentary of Prince Harry's, I might add. Really behind the scenes, I help run matches. I score, organise, keep score time. I'm the medic when they fall off, which they do regularly, fall off, and help sort of behind the scenes with 2 polo clubs local to me. And in the winter, when the horses are all out, which they are now resting up, the winter to rest, I walk for miles through a big estate, checking them, making sure they're safe, fed, watered. So yeah, I'm around horses a lot. That's
nice. And Gracie also has horse background, which is why she's now with Wellington boots and waterproof clothing in Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, I got put on a horse from, the age of 3. I've been riding all throughout my life. I was competing on horses. I've still got a horse to this day, my Penny. And it was quite funny because in the Priory we had equine therapy, and I think the 3 of us we slightly struggled with that a bit because when you went into equine therapy, you wasn't allowed to act as if you knew what you knew about horses,
yeah.
And it was a laugh, wasn't it? But it was kind of nice at the same time because going to equine therapy made me have that sense of home like feeling. But yeah, no, I've been a rider all my life and I love it. And it when I'm out on my horse, it really gives me that time to just let go of everything and just let my mind be free. And I'm really close to my horse, and it's been a big part of my life.
You can go back to your love for horses. You probably see that as an equine therapy. You've probably been through rehab anyway when you were there. Equine therapy?
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's probably what you're relating to. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so equine therapy, like when we went there,
it was weird though, wasn't it?
It was a bit annoying
because they say to you, you can't know the gender of the horses.
Name.
you have to kind of. So if they put 2 horses there and you have to relate it to you and your journey, and it's like being a horse lover, I could instantly say what breed of horse that is or what type, and if it's a girl or a boy, but you're not allowed to say that. We're not allowed to know the names and
not allowed to touch it.
Yeah, and it's just it's so hard, but it got us out and it was something to do. But we was all like, oh God, we've got equine on Friday. Like, what are we gonna do? But it was something to do, and we had a laugh, didn't we? But
we did have a laugh.
Yeah, it was a different way, and I never would have thought about doing therapy with horses before. And looking back at it now, actually, the way I connect with my own horse, when I'm around her, like I said previously, that my mind feels free.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a thing, and yeah.
I've been thinking. Sorry.
So obviously, the 3 of you have been in shared experience in the rehab, which obviously was recent. What would you say was the most important thing you took from it? I know, because obviously it wasn't 6 months or a year. It was short enough, but it was quite intense, I guess. So what was the most important thing individually you think you took from it?
Billy?
I think you learn a lot, and it's very hard work. You work hard in there, and it's an intense program from literally 8 in the morning till quite often late at night. And all of us were very focused on, well, certainly the 4 of us, 3 of us, okay, were very focused on getting as much out of every minute as we could. We bond very quickly in there because you are living together, eating together. and dealing with all the pressures in there, and supporting and helping each other. And that's a really important part of it.
Yeah.
When, we get set tasks to help each other. I think in the Priory, you'll never laugh so much or cry so much. So I think there were times when the laughter, despite all the heaviness and all the work, was really precious. And then the tears flow as well. So it's very intense. I think coming out is always scary.
Absolutely.
And we vowed to keep in contact. And sometimes, it's a bit, sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. And some pairs, when I was in the Priory the first time, I did keep in contact. And some of those contacts could be toxic if people were relapsing or it was difficult.
Sure.
But this friendship is a very loving, caring, supportive, non-judgmental, natural, it feels. I wouldn't have put all three of us together.
Yeah, but the thing is,
it's quite very precious.
Friendship is about, initially with anyone, you always tell yourself, no, I'm going to safeguard myself. If anyone has a problem, I'm not going to get involved. But, friendship is about putting that hand out and saying, look, we are here. And there's no point saying it if you're not going to follow it up, kind of thing. And I think we have done that for each other in any little thing. If you've had a bad day today or someone's pissed you off, we can always talk to each other about it. And if we had to pick, if we have to say things that we did over there, we can give you a rough idea to those listening in that being in a rehab center is not a frightening, horrible thing, because there was, equine therapy was weird, but I mean, if you think we had like a developmental trauma class with Dorrit, which was great. Yeah. Now, if you had to pick a class, what would you say
was the best class? Just when we just did our general therapy, when we just open the room and something would come out. I think also going to the meetings, I always think are really good. Yeah. The NACA, AA, art, yoga. I even like psychodrama this time around.
Psychodrama was lovely. And what about
music?
You? What would you say?
Yeah, I think I mentioned previously psychodrama. And it's just a different way of it. And for me, the thing that I take away from the Priory is that when I went into the Priory, I felt so alone and that I felt it was just me. But coming out of there, the biggest thing I take is that you are not alone. There is other people out there struggling just as much as you. And I couldn't see that. And to have met people in there, and to have the support that I got in there, and just to be able to talk openly and not feel like I'm getting judged, and to actually feel like I'm being listened to, and that I'm being understood. I think that was the biggest thing that I took away from there, because before I went in, I just felt that I was different and I couldn't talk about how I was feeling. But now I feel like I can. Because I'm not alone, and that is the biggest thing I think I'd take. But yeah, definitely psychodrama was the most interesting for me, I think.
Good. To adversity sometimes comes the best opportunities. So you guys particularly know, you're talking about yourself, Grace, because obviously you've been in for, you went through it, and you've got some opportunities came along because of experience of what you come along. And opportunities in life is all about taking them.
Yeah, definitely.
You could have, if you had a bad experience in there, you had a lack of confidence coming out, you may not have taken the opportunity. But obviously it's helped you.
Yeah.
It's given you back some confidence and makes more belief in yourself.
Yeah, I thank the Priory, because I feel that I found myself again. Because I said the Grace that went into the Priory at the start of my journey, if I had that interview as that Grace, it wouldn't have been me, and it wouldn't have been right.
Yeah.
Whereas the Grace that left the Priory and had that interview was me again. And that's how, that's what the Priory did for me. And I'm so grateful to all the therapists there, everyone and my peers and everything, because it has really turned my life around.
Belief is back, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the helping of each other was amazing, because we worked not even knowing we're helping each other in a way. And it would be little things that we'd pick up on with each other and know. And there was a thing that they make you talk about your life story. And each of us had to tell everyone from start to where we were now what had happened to us. And that, when you know somebody as well as that, and they're telling you the honest to God truth about their lives. And then you have other things like your families reading their letters of consequence of how your addictions hurt them. We all know a complete, almost like a circle around all of us that we understand from a different point of view, from others' point of view and ours. And I think that is where I felt Rehab was really good. That they made us look at ourselves from all sides and each other. And that's why we're sticking by each other, because we know there is a side that needs each other, isn't it?
Well, introspection is very important. You have to look inside before you can look on the outside, because that's where you obviously a lot of sensitive, deep-rooted issues are inside. So you have to introspect. And, you know, like you said to Indiraa, you have to be very proactive in your own recovery and well-being, and to get there in the end. You can't just rely on taking medication or just listening to somebody. You have to take everything on board. And you have to go with it. You have to work very hard to get better. As you guys know, even just making a commitment to go into rehab, I mean, that's
really hard.
That's, you know, it's not easy to make that kind of commitment to do it. So that in itself is a very proactive way of helping yourself. It's just like, you know, saying, okay, I need help. I'm going to do this. But you're going in with scared, maybe a lot of trepidation, whatever else. So that involves a lot, going and doing that. So let's ask you guys, because obviously now you're out and, you know, once you've had an addiction, whatever it was, alcohol or drugs or whatever it is, there's always that risk, someone that, you know, that could be a social thing, mixing with the wrong people or anything. So you guys, you know your own triggers by now.
Yep.
Yeah. So Billy, so tell me what you would identify as your
trigger
triggers.
for me, unfortunately, can be pretty much anything. I would drink on sadness, drink on loneliness, drink on boredom, drink on feeling good. So yeah, I can be triggered by just pretty much anything.
It's funny you mentioned feeling good, because most people tend to drink when they're happy. It's the highest risk factor, actually.
Yeah.
People tend to let go and let their guard down.
Yeah, complacency.
Exactly.
Because, you know, I've just got to 60 days or something and I've got this.
Yeah.
That was a big one for me.
Yeah.
And the disease wants us alone and isolated and dead at the end of the day. So I try really hard not to isolate, because isolating and asking for help were things that I was really bad at. Yeah. Well, actually really good at, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Not asking for help and isolating.
So now you know your triggers, what you do.
Yeah.
Obviously you made probably a lot of lifestyle adjustments.
Yeah.
It's also, I think, like, trigger-wise, what would your trigger be? Just loneliness or?
My biggest trigger was anxiety, I think. And because I was in the position where I didn't know what I was going to do for work. I didn't know where I was in my life. I kind of hit a bit of a rut. And now that I'm grounded and I've got that structure back in my life, that anxiety is not there anymore. So it's not making me want to use, so I don't have those triggers. Whereas beforehand, I didn't know what I was doing. I had so much spare time on my hands. I was getting anxious, and that's when I was picking up to use. Yeah. Because I was like, I'm just going to use to numb it all out. And that's what I did.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to work. I'm waking up, going to work, doing my job, coming home, watching TV, going to bed. And I do that over and over again. And I haven't got that time to be anxious.
Yeah, we've got a routine now.
Yeah. So, and it's just the structure.
So anxiety you talk about, when did you first... Can you remember when you first experienced it?
I probably started getting anxious about 2 years ago. I can't really say like a specific thing happened to me for it to happen. But just, you know, like home life as well for me was a thing. But I'm not going to go too much into that. But yeah, like probably about 2 years ago, and then like a friendship group I was in as well. That's when the drugs first started getting introduced.
Okay, I was going to ask you, so you're going to, so it was friends. Yeah,
so it was a friendship group, and that's where they came from, and that's when I started to use the drug. And then because I knew it was around, I knew what I felt from it, so I then started to use it more often because of the anxiety as a coping mechanism, and it just got to the point where it got out of control. I was losing weight. I was horrible to be around. I was lying. I was falling out of my family. I was falling out of my partner. And I just said to my mum one day, I need help. I need serious help. And that's when I called the Priory and went into the Priory because I could not live like that anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm still only 21, you know.
Wow.
So
exactly. So the friendship group you were in. So there was friends now. There was any of them in the same
I don't talk to them anymore.
Completely gone.
No, I've completely cut them all off because it's just not a environment that I want to be around. You know, for a long time, my mum and my family were telling me they're not good for you. But for me, I couldn't see that. I just saw them as my friends. And then I finally realised, you know, Grace, what are you doing? I think it got me, it came to the point of me being at breaking point where I realised my mum's right. I have to cut them off. And I did so. And it's the best thing I've ever done.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, that's survival. Your sense of will to survive, I mean, kicked in and made you reach out and admit you had a problem.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That's really good. Until you, I mean, down the line here you are now.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Well, I think even with Billy in the beginning, when you struggled a bit and then grabbing hold of things and saying, okay, like you said, everything's a trigger. You're either happy so you drink, you're sad when you drink. But having said that, when you look to the root of it, even when you're happy and you drink, it's because somewhere along the line you're scared to be sad again. You know, and I think a lot is a similarity between Billy and I was being away from home. And if you're in another country and your family's somewhere else and your DNA is somewhere else, really, there's a certain non-belonging.
Yeah, not quite ever fitting in.
Yeah. And no matter what you do, you know, it's like you can be described as, you know, Grace, you know, the pretty young girl, the youngest girl in our group, Grace, the pretty girl. And they say, oh, you know, Indiraa, the Indian one, or, you know, the one from New Zealand.
Yeah.
You become, you get a badge.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you realize, and especially with me, I didn't leave India till I was married and an adult. And it was, for me, I never realized that I had so much to change. And that's when everything started. I started obsessing with exercise. Yeah. And I only started drinking later, but with bereavement, because I don't deal very well with bereavement. But I started exercising and either dieting and exercising and going down to size 8, going up to size 18, down to size 8, up to size 18. And that's all I did for the first 10 years of living in England. And doing course after course, I became an interior designer. I taught aerobics. I did everything under the sun because I was going mental. Did you ever find you were chasing your...
Yeah, I think I always felt like I never quite fitted in. And often at meetings, you'll often hear people say that. And I think anxiety and, you know, self-esteem come into it. But I was always a really social person, and my drinking I thought was normal social middle-class drinking. You know, that wine o'clock when you've bathed the kids and put them to bed. But for me, it just got worse and worse, and you know, progressed to the last 3 years where, you know, I was just blacking out. But there's definitely a great homesickness. I get very homesick, especially around festives and bereavement dates and things like that, Christmas and New Year. I just don't get home as often as I would like, and hopefully I'll go home this year. So, yeah, there's a lot of little sort of things that, and I mean, going back to the horses, like Grace, I had a horse when I was 2. I grew up on a farm in New Zealand and had horses, and so for me, the contact with the horses is just an extension of that, because it helps my anxiety and it reminds me of home.
This year, I was telling, in fact, the other day I was talking to Tom, wasn't I, Tom? And I told you was it yesterday, I think? I said, for the first time in my life, I don't want to go back to India. And my husband, Rajiv, has to go back for his medical. And he said, oh, we've got to plan our trip to India. And I said, I don't want to go back. And he said, what's the matter with you? Because I have a place in India and it's beautiful. But I've lost my mum, I've lost my dad, I've lost the cook that brought me up. I lost all my uncles and aunts, all of them. I'm quite estranged from my cousins, never really knew them because they all went abroad young to study, like, very clever Indian kids always go abroad. And I just felt I don't have anything to go back to. And now I have a really bad sense of non-belonging because I'm neither here nor there. And when you're late in your life, it's even more frightening. All I think of, and lately all I'm thinking of is settling my future for the people I love. And I realized I'm going absolutely obsessed with it at the moment. Because now that's become my new addiction, is I have to settle life for everybody,
There's all sorts of anxieties, isn't there? Every day there's a new type of anxiety coming out, whether it's officially scientifically termed or not. There's different types of anxieties out there.
You deal with it all the time in your job, though, Tom, when you're talking to to people with the NHS thing when you were doing it. That's
what I mean. I mean, there's high functioning anxiety, which people perform very well, and they don't realise they have the anxiety. It's actually the anxiety that's keeping them going. But a high functional. But then if we don't have high functional anxiety, the anxiety we would get, we have reach out for something for that. When you have high functional anxieties, your work normally success is you're motivated to go out and achieve things.
Yeah.
So you keep what keeps you going. I think with addiction, it's easy to get into, but it's hard to get out of. That's the problem. That's the really hard thing about it, isn't it?
And it's hard to accept also, because if you think of yourself as disciplined and, I'm disciplined, I was a sportsman, I'm this, I'm that. And then you've got to say, no, I'm really not. I'm a complete slave to, to grape juice. I mean, that's really shit, to have to accept that of yourself.
It's very hard to accept. And I still think there's a stigma attached to addiction, alcoholism. And it's hard. You can be proud and strong and a grateful alcoholic, but it took me. I have to acknowledge it every day. It's so much work because I still have shame and I have guilt, and it can be debilitating, shame and guilt for things that I've done. So you really have to rise up and work.
It's all part of the healing process, isn't it? You have to learn to forgive yourself for it. You look back, you don't deliberately do it. You do it because you've got an issue, an underlying issue. It's a mental health issue. So that's you got to go easy on yourself. It's easier said than done, but it takes time if you can do that. I mean, that's why recovery is a whole aspect of things. There's spiritualistic, there's holistic, there's lifestyle changes, there's everything to it. If you want to get there and, fulfill that whole recovery path, there's a lot of things, intricate things that have to be put in place. It's like putting little pieces into a jigsaw down the line. And it takes work, it takes time to get there. It's not easy. And if you relapse, you go back again and you start again. It's very, very difficult. It's a long road to recovery. But, if you're strong and if you're focused on it, it's achievable for everybody.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's like it's like anything. You just accept that everyone has addictions of some sort. Some are so obvious. Like in our case, it's so obvious we have to acknowledge it. But if you're addicted to success, no one's going to say anything. If you're a megalomaniac and, think you can run the world and buy different countries, no one's going to think that you're an addict. They just think you're a nut job. But everyone has an addiction.
You can even get applauded for it.
I know.
You could talk in a group, you could be a sex addict and somebody applaud you for it. Think you're doing a great thing. But it's an addiction nonetheless.
Yeah, I talked to my husband about it in front of Patrick, who was my therapist in rehab. And I said, if my husband has to acknowledge he has addictions, Rajiv, do you want to acknowledge your addictions? And he said, yeah, I guess I'm addicted to success and work. And the success.
You're going to say sex addict.
Success. And he can't be without more and more success. It just does not work for him. And then he started back on tennis after, we played on the circuit till we were then when he started work at 21, he quit tennis. then he worked, and then all of a sudden when he was 50, he said, right, I'm going back on the circuit. And that started as well. So I said, now, do you consider this a kind of addictive personality? And so Patrick was laughing. And so Rajiv said, Yes, I guess I do have an addictive personality, but everyone does. It's just trying to find. Unfortunately, we have shit ones. We have shit addictions.
Yeah.
You know.
So we have to start wrapping it up soon because you've got another show to do in there. You've got a new song with the girls the next one. So soon enough, if you have time.
We do.
Yeah, so we'll wrap it up so that you can do that. So quickly before you go, guys, a couple of quick questions from me anyway. Apart from everything you've learned in rehab, what have you done for yourselves? I mean, obviously you've got to start things, you schedule when you're rehabbing with therapists and this, that and the other. What have you done? What have you learned to do for yourselves that's going to help your recovery and keep you on the path of recovery? Billy, you tell me what you
I have to put my recovery first, which is what mistake I've made
prioritise
in the
yourself.
past. So I have to pick up my daughter from school when she works late, or work or my son or whatever, and I have to cook the meal. They're 18 and 21 now, so they can fend for themselves.
Absolutely.
But I would still feel guilty, and they'd be like, "Mum, we're fine. Go, do whatever." But as a mother, I would struggle to put my recovery first.
Well, it's funny, I was having this conversation with Indiraa just yesterday about that. I said, when you need help, if you've got a serious problem, you have to prioritise yourself. It's not being selfish, because you cannot help anybody else if you're in need of help yourself. You first have to get yourself as close to 100% as possible before you give any more of yourself or give any of yourself out to anybody else. Because you won't, you'll just fall. You'll collapse.
And then everything goes out and you rush here and you don't do that and you don't
You're back to square one.
centre, and then I will.
One trip and it's gone.
Yeah.
That's the
Exactly.
literally trip, no pun intended, but it really does take you to another place. It's really
relapse
hard.
is horrible.
So that's very interesting, because I think that's for me is the most important thing. I think is giving yourself the time you need and what you need.
Good one, Bill.
100%.
What about you, Kate?
Chris?
What about you?
Kate.
Grace.
You keep calling me Kate.
That's because we were talking about it
Yeah,
all the
you
time.
yeah.
They always call me Kate. People pleasing.
Kate, yeah.
No, mine's people pleasing, I think.
Yeah.
That's a big thing that I discovered in the Priory that I did, was trying to please other sorry, can't get my words out. Pleasing other people. And again, kind of it links in with what Billy said, putting myself first, because I was so worried about what other people would think, rather than what it was doing to me. So I've been trying to, if someone asked me to go out or something, and if I'm not really feeling it, I would usually say, okay, yeah, I'll go. But actually to learn to say no.
Yes, exactly. So that's again, it ties in what you just said, Billy. Yeah. It's about prioritising yourself. Yeah. When you need to do that, it has to be done. Yeah, it's, like I say, it's not being selfish. You never think it's selfish. It's not. It is the right thing to do. When you're in a better place and you're grounded and you're in a safe place, you can always put yourself out and help other people, and you can give a bit of yourself to someone else. But you got to know when yourself comes first. Umra una, number one. So, Grace, while you're there, what advice would you give to anyone or somebody, particularly your age, might have gone through similar experiences to yourself, and what you've been through? What would you give advice? What would your best bit of advice you'd give?
Again, like I previously mentioned, that you are not alone. There is other people out there that are probably, struggling exactly the same as you, or maybe even worse or whatever. And there's people out there that are there to listen to you. And if you feel like you need that help, just reach out for it, because I didn't do it for so long. And then the day I did do it is the best decision I ever made, because it is made me the person I am today.
And definitely don't self-medicate. Don't take that as the first option.
Don't turn to anything, because it is not worth it.
No matter what your friends say.
It's a waste of money. It causes arguments, lying, all of that. And all you need to do is just ask for that help before it gets out of hand, because I didn't do that and it did get out of hand. And all I needed to do was just ask for that help. And
exactly. It's not cool. It's not safe.
No.
It's
exactly,
destructive.
and it's dangerous, and it's not good.
Yeah.
So yeah, please ask for help, and just know that you are not alone.
Absolutely. Billy, advice would you give?
Oh, that would be my one.
Sorry,
it's okay. Yeah, what I've learnt with the best advice is the addicts that I've met are amazing people and very precious people. And so, again, it's asking for help and not being isolated. That feeling of isolation and loneliness, you've got to get out of that. So we're all a bit fucked up, everybody in the world.
Absolutely.
But I think addicts are special people. So I don't actually know what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say just reach out, because it is exactly true. You're not alone, and you feel so alone.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. And Indira, anything you'd like to add before we close this up?
I think addicts have no age, no color, no creed, no background. No, you can be rich, you can be poor, you can be white, you can be pink, you can be whatever. You can be 21, you can be 66. It doesn't matter. It's not selective. Addiction doesn't. It selects you whether you like it or not, if that's in your DNA. So
it chooses you sometimes.
Yep, and everyone just be aware of it.
Absolutely.
And don't forget, there is help out there. Please take it if you can.
Great advice from the wonderful Indira. And our two wonderful guests, Billy and, I won't say Kate.
No.
Grace, of course. So, folks, we really hope you enjoyed today's special episode of the Mad podcast, where we had our two special guests, and Indira and myself, of course. And we're going to play out with a song. Anyone guess what a song I'm going to play out with?
I'm gonna have to face it, I'm addicted to love. No?
No. Billy?
No, I can't guess.
No.
Great.
Sorry.
Okay.
Rehab.
They tried to make me go to rehab. I said no.
Is that Amy Winehouse?
Myself and the wonderful Indira. Until next time, take it easy. Bye.
No.
I ain't got the time, and if my daddy thinks I'm fine, they try to make me go to rehab. I won't go. I'd rather be at home with Ray. I ain't got 70 days, 'cause there's nothing you can teach me that I can't learn from Mr. Hathaway. I didn't get a lot in class, but I know it don't come in a shot glass. They try to make me go to rehab. I said no, no, no. Yes, I've been black, but when I come back, no, no, no. I ain't got the time, and if my daddy thinks I'm fine, just try to make me go to rehab. I won't go. The man said, why do you think you hit? I said, I got no idea. I'm gonna lose my baby. So I always keep a bottle near. He said, I just think you're depressed. This me, yeah, baby, and go ahead. They tried to make me go to rehab, but I said no, no, no. Yes, I've been black, but when I come back, you're no, no, no. I don't ever wanna drink again. I just need a friend. I'm not gonna spend 10 weeks. Have everyone think I'm on the man. And it's not just my pride. It's just till these tears have dried. They try to make me go to rehab. I say no, no, no. Yes, I've been black, but when I come back, you're no, no, no.
Well, folks, on that note, that's where we're going to leave it for today. Hope you've enjoyed the show as much as we have, and we look forward to bringing you more of the latest news and hot topics surrounding mental health on our next show. Remember, new episodes of the Mad Podcast drop every Sunday at 6 p.m. Episodes are available to listen to on Spotify, Apple Music, and of course, the Musicians Against Depression website, an online toolbox that contains a wealth of information, essential reading, and links relating to mental health. As always, if you or someone you know would like to join the conversation, either in studio or remotely, email us at musiciansagainstdepression@gmail.com or visit the MAD website at www.musiciansagainstdepression.uk for further info. All links, including social media, are provided in the show notes. And remember, no problem in life is insurmountable, and help is just a conversation away. Until the next time, from myself and the wonderful Indiraa, take care.